patriarchy, not a matriarchy. And you could debate that fact if you want.
My bad.
You have to prove to me how men have suffered and are not and have been oppressed by women. How have men been oppressed by women?
Court systems for a start. A load of single fathers, a load of fathers who adore their kids.
He's playing right into their hand,
full custody
the fool.
or part custody because
why is that?
Most reasons, like I said,
why?
Give
me a reason why that would be.
The kids are going to go more to the mothers.
And you need to be able to prove this because I can back up our claim.
But also give me a reason why that would be.
Let me in.
Oh, by the way,
let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in.
I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. The friend of the host. You can look it up. I mean, I've got personal experience.
Look what up? You haven't made a claim yet.
Can you answer my question, please? Can you tell me what reason that would be?
Because women are scientifically known to be the nurturers.
No, what? You don't know what reasons there possibly could be for why men could be
you want me to say
denied?
That men beat their kids more? You want me to say that men mistreat their kids more? Is that what you want me to say?
No, men don't. No, men don't go to court.
One second. The thing is that a lot of men. Well, we're not going to deny there is an astronomical amount of abuse with men, but this is not what I'm talking about. We're talking about the simple fact. Okay, that of like what you're not acknowledging, which is the 9 months in which a woman has to carry a child and then has to go through labor to birth that. Name me a situation in which you think that it is appropriate for a man to basically get all the pleasure but none of the consequences. You see, the women and the men both participate in the act. However, only one gets to walk away with the pleasure and none of the consequences. Women have to then bear that child, have to go through the pain of pregnancy for 9 months, and then have to go through excruciating labor in order to pop the baby out. Doesn't that?
Ask you a question about taxes, because taxes have a special place in my heart. So do you really, so just, in, full transparency, for the last roughly 10 years, I have been very fortunate enough to pay over 6 figures in income tax every single fucking year.
I mean, let's, we can actually simplify this real quick.
Given the choice, do you think I would want to do that?
Of course not. Of course not.
Oh,
but you're
okay then. Right. If it wasn't under pain of law.
Well, hang on. Let me steelman Nick's position, because I think I understand what he's saying. Nick's saying, and Nick, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to steelman this properly so I know I have it down pat. You're saying, absent a taxation system, there'll be X amount of voluntarists who will still give money for X amount of things because they want the better society, whether it's infrastructure or this or that, right?
Depending on the culture. Let's
sure.
I'm not talking about the world we live in now.
No, I understand. Let's just say it's some more advanced culture or something like this. Okay.
Right.
So then I want you to understand this entailment. You tell me if this is true or false under this worldview. We have no laws against murder. There'll be just as many murders as if we didn't have laws saying you could not murder.
If you could if we could conduct a controlled, we could never do this, but if we could somehow conduct a controlled experiment where you totally indoctrinated one group of children in one community and did the same in another, the culture would be the most important factor. That would dictate how the people behaved and what they did, not some law, like something written on in a book.
Well, okay then, Nick. Then in this culture, the one that we currently live in, would there be more murder or less murder if you made murder legal tomorrow?
I would assume more murder.
You would assume more murder. So then, Nick, would there be more prostitution or less prostitution if you made prostitution legal tomorrow?
There's plenty of prostitution. There might be more prostitution now than there was before, because if you consider OnlyFans prostitution, I mean, or sugar daddies, since the internet, I think we've seen a rise in prostitution.
Let's just say hookers.
A different form of it.
Let's just say women who get penetrated by men for money. Would there be more of them or less of them if you made a law saying that if you can get penetrated for money, it's legal? More or less?
It depends on how easily you could get around the law.
The law says it's legal.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So
The answer is more, brother. There's no getting around it. It's more.
okay, yeah.
There's no getting around it, brother. I mean, even if your point is they were already doing it for money, breaking the law. If you made it legal, it's just going to be more of them, bro. Legally out
That's
there
my
doing
point.
it, they'll be on the street.
Yeah.
But the answer to this question is more. There's no getting around it, bro. To both
The
killing.
answer. That's the answer. That's the answer to everything. If you were to say that going 120 miles an hour down the highway was now legal, right? Would more or less people do 120 miles an hour on the highway?
I do at least 90.
I want to slow down, but sure.
Yeah, but the question is, would more or less people do it?
I think it still depends on the people.
It still depends. Yeah.
It's
Okay. The United States, you made a law tomorrow. You can do 120 miles an hour on any highway you're on. Would more people do 120 miles an hour on the highway, or would less people do it?
Of course, in the U.S.
Well, then we have established that a deterrence in law is effective. So when I ask you, Nick, I say, Nick, what do you mean that you could not curtail female promiscuity through law? You say it can't be done. You're clearly incorrect. Of course it can be done. Of course it can. Well, because all other forms of law that which we talk about, where I say the incentive is either there or it is not, you say, I agree. If thing X were legal, more people would do thing X. For instance, right now, let's assume that it's illegal to own a firearm. If it was legal to own a firearm, would more people own a firearm, Nick, or would less people own one?
Obviously, more people would own a firearm.
Then, Nick, you have no argument, bro. I just walked you through your whole argument. Now you know, bro.
I still find your argument a bit simplistic. I think it's still simplistic.
It doesn't need it. Why does logic need to be complex?
You're using these extreme examples, right? These extreme.
It's not extreme.
There
are countries right this second where you cannot own a gun. True or false?
True. Yeah. True.
Okay, and then there's countries right now like this one where you can. True or false?
Look, there's a country.
Answer my question, Nick. True or false? The answer, Nick. I'm almost done. Answer my question. There are countries right now where you can own a gun. Correct?
Yeah.
And there's countries right now where you can't. Right?
Okay.
So how's that extreme? It's literally mapping it onto reality.
No, you don't. No, you're comparing owning guns to prostitution. I feel that prostitution's already. I mean, there's so much of it. I don't know if there would really be a difference if you were to make it legal tomorrow, because there's so much
more guns than prostitution
anyway. Okay, yeah, there would be more. Obviously, there'd be more, but it would be. I don't think it'd be very significant because the law isn't keeping people from.
But would there be? Okay, let's assume that it just wouldn't be significant. Would there be more prostitution if it was illegal, or less?
If you obviously there would be more, but I mean, is it really
there would be more? So then the question becomes, what do you want to see in society? Is a push towards in society with prescription of law and governance. If you want to see bad behavior from people, then you would ascribe to the Nick philosophy of let them do whatever the fuck they want, because after all, you can't mitigate it with law, even though Nick also says you can mitigate all of this with law. So make it make sense, Nick.
You're missing my point. Now, because you go to extremes, and that's not what I'm trying to say.
I'm not being extreme.
You're not going to change. You're not going to make any significant changes necessarily by changing the law. That's what I'm trying to say. If you write something down on paper, that's not going to change the way people behave. Okay,
brother Nick, if I can
really wait, hang on. I just want to make sure I got this clear. Really, you're saying that if you pass a law tomorrow, it's not really going to change very much what happens based on the law? No?
Let me rephrase
you want to revise? Yeah, go ahead and revise that. I would too.
Okay, now, if you really want to make a change in the culture, if you want to make a change in the way women behave and the way couples work, the law is probably not where you should begin. You should begin with culture. You should begin with education, with children, what children are taught. That's going to be...
Are children taught based on prescription of law?
Yeah, religious law, really. Social law.
They're not really.
Oh, I teach my daughter about the law, bro. I teach my daughter about the law. Just real quick, brother Nick. Real quick, brother Nick. My daughter and her iPhone ran up a $10,000 bill. After I calmed down.
$10,000?
Yes, sir. After
How?
I calmed down, video games, that the goddamn, just like slot machines. It wasn't slot machine. She was just playing some video game. It was like power up now. And it's a long story. We had an adult. I didn't have an iPhone at the time. I was Android. We had an adult. There was the go between her purchases, and then we changed the accounts, and the adult came off, and we weren't thinking. So my daughter had she's had unfeathered access to the money. And she ran up, just, we saw it. It was after the banks called me. We saw how she did it. A little bit here, a little bit there. That's all beyond the point. The point is, I had to explain the law behind that. I said, listen, you're my daughter and I love you. I can talk to you now. It's been a week. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. If you had done this to anybody else, you would go to prison because this is against the law. You stole money. That's what that was. This isn't yours and you stole it. That's the law. I had to teach her that. Very teachable moment. Cost me a shit ton. I got 5,000 back, but I was still out $5,000, right? But it was the law that I was teaching her. And I also got to teach her the law as to, how it's going to affect her as she moves forward. I'm a parent. That's my responsibility. So yeah, you got to incorporate. And if I was religious, I would be talking about religious law, be it Christian or Muslim or, or Jew, whatever religion, they all come with rules. They all come with laws. So you got to teach that, bro. Like, I mean,
if I were in charge, I wouldn't choose to focus on changing laws. If I really wanted to change society, I would start elsewhere. That's all I'm saying. Now, yeah.
Well, where would you start, Nick?
As I said, I would start with culture. I would start with education.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I don't understand. When you say you'd start with culture, what would be the mechanism for which you would affect culture as a leader who would pass no laws?
I would say it's on every individual. It's their responsibility to do it. It's our
so you
responsibility.
can do anything as a leader, is what you're saying?
I wouldn't want to be a leader.
So let me just make sure I got this right.
I don't want to be a leader.
Here's Nick's leadership. Do nothing.
I don't want to be a leader.
Do nothing. If Nick were a leader, do nothing. And if Nick conceivably were put in a leadership position, he would say he would change the culture by doing nothing. Excellently. Well done, Nick. You have definitely solved the problems of the United States with your epic leadership skills of doing nothing. Wonderfully done.
No, listen.
Highly appreciative, Nick.
I'm not going to be a dictator. Listen to me. I'm not going to be a dictator. I'm not going to be a leader. I'm not trying to be a leader. That's not my point. My point
I know, but the question became this: if you were in charge and you did not change law because you don't think it affects culture, then Nick, how would you change culture?
Propaganda, the way we're changing it now, the way people are changing it now.
Would you need to have a law in place in order to produce propaganda? No,
you don't. Clearly, you don't, because all the ways we're brainwashing people now doesn't depend on the law.
Yes, it does.
I mean, yeah, it's within the limits of the law.
No, so it's based on the law. So it's based on the law, Nick.
You're not listening to me.
I'm listening, bro. I'm listening.
No, I'm saying obviously there are things that you can't do, but there isn't a law telling us what we have to do. We're brainwashing ourselves the way we choose. Okay.
So what you're saying is that there's no law. So there's no law. Wait. So you're saying that there's no law which has a threshold for propaganda, only a law that does not have a threshold for propaganda. So within the prescription of law, everyone can do propaganda. But couldn't you just make a law saying that only certain people could make propaganda, which was good for the culture? And since you're the leader, shouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
No, you wouldn't want to do that.
Who decides what's good? Who decides what's bad?
Well, you're the leader. Don't you decide?
No.
No.
This whole discussion is based on our opinions. Okay. It's not.
Yeah, but you're the leader in this hypothetical. You're the leader in this hypothetical. You're in charge, Nick. What do you do?
I guess unethically, I'd have to manipulate what gets more publicity. What gets
what are those things, Nick? What gets more publicity? What do you do to curtail the problems of the United States?
I don't care, actually. I don't know what I would decide. I'm probably the least qualified person to decide that. But I think that all I'm trying to say is whoever wanted to be in that role, I think they'd be.
You would be right there to criticize them, wouldn't you, Nick? At least whoever was in that role, Nick would be right there to criticize them, even though Nick, if he was in that role, wouldn't do anything. Well, Nick, how long should I let you talk before I ever get to respond?
Well, let me finish. I'm sorry, my points are a bit long. But
Well, to make them short,
you turn them into something they're not.
well, no. I'm just giving you entailments of what you're saying, bro. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's an entailment.
I'm leaving. Because
you're leaving.
The point I'm trying to make. Okay.
No, Nick, are you leaving, Nick? Are you running, Nick? You leaving? All right, Nick. You're gonna have to lead somewhere else another day, Nick.
What? Cat. Your buddy.
Guys.
Hey, Cat. Don't worry. Raging Tomato did that to me. I jumped on her platform with a Fresh and Fit t-shirt, and I had to fight off 8 or 9 folks. But it led to some real good friends. I don't rage quit. I don't quit because I'm airborne. We don't do that.
I don't
shit.
know that he was.
I sat there and dealt with it
as much as he just gave up.
However you want to call it. I thought the young kids call that rage quitting, but it is what it is. See, it's in there saying, "Yeah, rage quit." I don't know. What it is. What it is. But sometimes you just got to hold the L, man. I mean, I'm.
Lessons of the crucible to the grand invasion. Today, internet soldiers and battle-hardened debaters from all walks of life will be putting their skills to the test to fight against the most dangerous and poisonous ideology known to man. As we embark on this invasion, know that our enemy is tough, battle-hardened, and ready for us. Only through sheer force of will and perseverance can we succeed. We will adjust our tactics to meet this new global threat which has now emerged and will destroy all of humanity. Our daughters and sons will no longer be subjected to this poisonous ideology unopposed, though some of you may not make it in this conflict. That is a risk the Inquisition is willing to take. By land, sea, and air, the Inquisition will do battle. Our savagery and no mercy debate tactics will be the echo and the war cry of all future generations of keyboard warriors. We dream of a day when this long and protracted invasion ends in complete victory. We must not stop the invasion until a foothold is established and our ideology can spread through the masses. Please, hold your head for the prayer this afternoon. Lord God in heaven, let us destroy our enemies with superior verbal jujitsu, and maybe they be as stupid and inconsistent as they always are. May the degenerates find you waiting for them, ready to fix their broken souls and worldviews as we send them to you with mangled minds. This, Lord, do we pray. Remember our ethos, not one step back, never. Always move forward in the battle against the degenerate. Make them pay for every single inch of ground. Make them regret ever having met us in the glorious field of intellectual battle and internet blood sports. We will never stop until complete and total victory is achieved. This is our mark. This is for our honor and our children's children. May God have mercy on their souls.
Get me. This is hilarious.
Do I know who the Speaker of the House is? Do I care who the Speaker of the House is?
No, and that's going to determine my idea. No one asked you if you cared about it. No one else even cared about it.
Yeah. Do I know who it is?
Hold on. Hey, String Bean, you seem really fascinated with IQ. Can you just tell me what's tested in IQ?
What's tested in IQ?
Yeah. What are the 6 metrics that are tested for in IQ? Seeing as you're so fascinated by it, what are they?
Neck length, foot size, hand size.
Let's go.
Fucking overall height.
So you don't even know what's actually tested for IQ, and you reckon you have a high one?
Who's the Speaker of the House?
The only thing I know is I have more real life experience.
Bro, fold it again. Fold it again.
Hypothetically, if the Speaker of the House were to give you an IQ test, what metrics would they use?
What metrics would they use?
Yeah, what are the 6 metrics that are tested for in IQ?
Yeah, and
do you even know what IQ means? What it stands for?
I don't know why I would even want to know.
Intelligent closer.
Do not mess it up. Do not.
Good job. You know what the acronym means. You know what the acronym means. Now, what are the metrics that are tested for?
I don't give a fuck what the metrics are tested for. Because anytime I've given a test, I do well on those.
You type into Google IQ test and you do like Google IQ test and you think that that's like actually representative of your intelligence, don't you?
No,
I don't
bro.
give a fuck what my IQ is. Why does that
That's not how
matter?
that works. Nobody does
You're
that.
so cringe, bro.
No, nobody does that. I mean,
How are
maybe
you a
someone
dumb
like
nerd?
maybe a Kiwi does it.
How are you a
from the
dumb nerd,
street.
bro? That's fucking embarrassing. Being a stupid
Maybe you
nerd.
would learn something. You know
Being
what
a
I mean?
stupid nerd may be one of the worst things you can be. Bro, like, where do you go from being a stupid nerd? You can't be like cool and you can't be smart. Like, you're fucked.
Really?
I think the other. I think you're fucked. I think the people behind the screens that
what's your
teleconference said their jobs are fucked.
GPA, Kiwi?
Fucking dish is amazing.
Oh, you're just an emotional girlfriend. And instead of actually trying to have a conversation about it, you don't know how to have conversations about anything. You just go into, are you emotional? Are you crying? You're like my ex. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. You can't engage in conversation.
So again, good people don't associate themselves with people who try to use other people's families to bring them down. That's it. You guys know that I do this YouTube shit full time, and you guys like literally told people not to send me money because I might be holding a list about them. Do I hold a list of doxes on the subs, Jorgen?
So is that what was said, or are you misconstruing?
That is what was said, actually. At the end, he says, anybody donating money to him, be careful, because you never know what he's going to do when he's mad. But then you guys presented that I had all of Jumpy's information, I was mad, and I didn't dox him. So tell me again, Jorgen, do I keep a dox list on the subs?
I mean, not that I know of.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jorgen. Thanks.
Okay, but did he say assertively that you had it? You see how you're structuring
Yes,
it to
he
make it seem
did.
best.
Yes,
Okay,
he
so-
did.
So say it again verbatim
They said
what
I
you
have
just
a
said.
docs list. They said I have a docs list. Yep, that's what they said, Jorgen.
A docs list of what? Of your subs? Because you're
and then telling
misconstruing.
people not to donate money to me because I may get mad and dox them. They don't know what information I'm keeping. Hornet implying all this shit when you know different, and you not speaking up about it is just as bad. Jorgen, you can say you're not participating, but your silence is the participation. You know the opposite of everything they've said, and you don't speak up about it. It's the same thing as doing it. You can say no, and I don't care, bro. I don't care. That's why if you witnessed a murder and you didn't say anything, you would get in trouble for that. You're an idiot. You're an idiot right now to just sit there and act like you have no participation in any of this. You're a liar.
I mean, you're just gonna say I'm a liar at the same time that you're also lying about other things too. I mean, it's just we're both liars, I guess, at this point. So, I mean, so it's okay.
See, and then this whataboutism never addresses anything you do. You just want to keep
you haven't
saying,
either,
but you
you
did
haven't
this,
either.
but you did that.
You haven't either,
but
dude.
You did this.
You
Why don't
haven't
you
either,
address
easy.
anything I'm saying to you, bro?
Okay, so is the way that Resto made his money the way that he made his money that you told me, or is that a lie that never happened as well? I just want to know that. Want to address stuff that's been said in public? So let's go.
So wait a minute. Wait a
I
minute.
just wanna
So
make sure
you want me
we said
to
this correct.
release someone's private information on the stream?
No,
You're
I'm
an
asking you
idiot,
because-
bro.
No,
You're an
you see?
idiot.
Exactly, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. You see, yeah, okay. You don't want to fucking actually engage in the conversation.
I told you he made his money that way. No. Don't lie. We all came to the same conclusion of how he got his money because of what he is. Don't lie. Don't fucking lie. You can sit here and lie all you want. You guys should be careful about how many conversations I have recorded, buddy. Fuck off.
Okay,
with that.
so then send me the recording of that conversation and
you
prove
want
me
to
wrong.
send it to you or just
Send
play
it to
it
me.
here? Should I play it here?
Whatever one you want. If you want to dox him, then go ahead and dox whatever you want. But that's on you. I'm saying you can send it to me and prove me wrong. And then I will fess up to it and be a man and fess up to the lie. But you're not going to. Because I remember when Resto left, you said, yeah, Resto made his money because of blah, 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 and because of this certain person. You said that to me. And if you want to say that's a lie, then you're just fucking being a piece of shit at this point and just trying to cover up your shit, dude.
Now I don't know what you're
Because
talking about.
it's not only me. It's not only me that you've said it to. It's multiple other people in separate other occasions. And yet you wanted to say that it's a lie.
Maybe they'll hear you if you yell a little louder.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you just want to fucking hide behind little bullshit fucking shit instead of just owning up to your bullshit, dude. That's honestly crazy.
I've owned up to everything, bro.
So then own up to it then. Then tell me you said it. Tell me you said it because that's exactly what you said to me. Easy.
We all came to the same conclusion, bro. We all came to the same conclusion in the VC that day.
Then show it to me then. Send it to me. Send it to me. Send it to me then.
Why would you want me to send it to you?
Because I know you're lying, Easy.
So wait a minute. If you don't know it, you need me to send it to you. What? So if I send it to you, Jargon, I send you you agreeing with this. What after that then?
Then I'll agree. I'll say yeah. I guess I was wrong about that because I know how to own up to shit that I fucking was wrong about.
So you'll just and then that's it. You'll just say yeah, I was wrong, and then what? What is it going to solve?
I mean, what else? Exactly.
Jargon,
what is it going to solve? Because you're afraid to send. You're afraid to send anything because you know you're wrong.
Jargon, can you tell me something, buddy?
What?
Why can't you all just move on with your fucking life? Why do you keep coming back over here? If I'm such a bad guy, so I'm a grifter, this and that. What are you doing here?
Couldn't you done the same thing last night on Mel's? Couldn't you just ignore Resto? Are we not at Mel's every single night? Every single stream she has, we are at Mel's.
You asked a question, I'll answer you. No, I couldn't. I asked Mel if I could come and confront him before I did that, because I actually have etiquette. So I made sure it was okay with Mel that I did that. And then I came and confronted him because for the last week, every time I say on my show that I'm going over to fucking Mel's, Hornet just happens to pop up on panel every time I say I'm going on panel over there. So I waited until Saturday till nobody was going to know I was going on panel because I wasn't streaming. And I popped up there 10 minutes later. Resto, you, Lauren, everyone pops up in the chat. You're going to tell me, oh, it's just a coincidence. Neve shows up. It was all a coincidence. You guys all didn't fucking tell each other about it. You can tell everybody that. No one believes you, Jorgen.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no one believes that there's tornadoes in fucking Oklahoma. I'll fucking dox myself.
Oh, Jorgen,
5 miles fucking away. So you see, you're not gonna fucking let me answer like a little pussy you are. You see that? You fucking little pussy.
Was Lauren having tornadoes too? Was Neve having tornadoes? We're all having tornadoes.
Fucking know what everyone else has in their goddamn going on, dude.
It's just a coincidence.
I don't.
Then
what the
fuck? Tornadoes stopped just at the right time, eh, Jorgen? What a coincidence.
Yeah. Do you want me to fucking send you screenshots and dox myself and all this to prove your fucking ass wrong? So you're fucking little piece of shit, dude? For real, no, I'm being serious. This is really fucking irking me. Fucking crazy, dude. You're fucking nuts. Like, come on. Like you're crying over a fucking panel that we're literally on every single fucking time that they're there. You fucking came up, oh, well, isn't this a coincidence that you're here when I'm here? We're literally there every single fucking day, dude. Every single stream she has, we're fucking there. And I think it's fucking ridiculous that you had to bring it up to fucking Mel. Even if you were to bring it up to Mel about fucking confronting him on it, Mel's smartest move would be to fucking leave the shit all behind her and not have anything to do with it and bring it nowhere near her fucking platform. Because it doesn't fucking matter to her. She's a whole separate other fucking entity. Oh, you're just an emotional girlfriend.
No. Oh, what's up, Andrew? Sorry, I didn't know you could show up.
I mean,
oh shit.
Okay.
Oh shit.
How you doing?
Here we go again.
I mean, good. I didn't come on here to fight with you. Hoping we can just quash. Hoping we can just quash this thing.
We can.
We're only debating feelings here.
So the thing is that I only just popped in a second ago, but that whole thing that you're talking about with Wurzel Root and all that stuff was all set up by Politically Provoked, dude.
Yeah,
those guys set those panels up to be as hostile as possible. You know that.
Yeah,
like that's what they were for. My wife has never had anything personal against you. Like you know that.
Yeah, I just was a little pissed off because like she kind of joined in on that, and I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna. That's why I kind of stopped talking to y'all. Period, because like I just was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do it anymore. So
look at Andrew coming in.
That whole panel that like those remember those old skanking drinks she did? What are they called? Like the you know what I'm talking about, the drinking visits, or I don't fucking remember what they were, but
I can't remember.
But all of those were set up to be hostile panels. That was the point. And so Brittany set you up as a heel, dude. You were a heel. So basically, they take people like you, put them on, so that guys like Wurzel could come on and viciously attack them. That was the point. That's why. You remember that I never really participated in any of those. I just did the debates. That was why. That was why. I didn't want to just go on and attack a heel. That just seemed really low tier, and you know what I mean? You know how those got? They were all like clucky, and it was just low tier attacks. Everybody was just attacking everybody. And some of that in the panel I think is good, but if that's what the entire thing is, you know what I mean? I was just never interested in that.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
But here's the thing, like, what was it? I don't talk to Brittany anymore. She and I are not friends. So let's just put it that way. I don't know if you heard about the current dramas going on with him then, but that's kind of wishy-washy anyway. But like, I just don't know if I had ever done anything to like piss you off or like to feel like I was harassing you, or because I would never do a thing like that. You seem to imply that.
Well, you had the messages on Twitter. So you're on Twitter when a bunch of these people were trying to personally attack my family, and you did kind of join the throng there, dude.
Well, the thing. Are you talking about like what, Tree of Logic or Brittany Venti?
Yeah.
They brought receipts. That's the only thing. I'm just wondering, like, if that's not true, then
they didn't bring any receipts. That's all bullshit. What do you mean? What receipts? Receipts proving what?
Well, just like, you know,
like you already knew that children. You already knew all of that. Like, what were the receipts? What were these receipts for? They were just ways to attack. So they presented this as though this was something that the whole world didn't already know. Even though we had talked about it ad nauseum before that. Like, you knew all of this from years ago. We had discussed it. So these people brought this up as some sort of like new attack. Like this wasn't already public knowledge. The whole point of that was they were trying to pivot in to the RP space, the red pill space, the manosphere space, and tell them, oh, they're hiding this from you. This and that. There was no hiding anything. That had been public knowledge forever. So those were just kind of baseless attacks. And no, I didn't think, I didn't know why you would join in with the throng of those people. I don't recall ever doing anything to you.
You don't recall, like, anytime I would like hop on a panel and you'd say, oh, Alex, you're a fucking pussy or some shit like that. I mean, I'm like, okay, dude, whatever.
Alex, we've only talked, I mean, other than the debate we did, how many times have we talked? Once or twice?
Not much. Like the last time, and I told Josie, actually, the last time you and I actually spoke was after my debate with Zen Shapiro when I did a formal concession. I just want to talk to the guy. That's it. And then everybody kind of just like, that's like the last time you and I spoke. And I was like,
yeah, we don't. We're not exactly. Go ahead.
I know you hate bringing this up, but would you mind telling the audience what what Alex was joining, what Alex was participating in, like the topic of discussion that was.
Alex.
What was that?
You mean Kurt? Oh, you mean Alex Kurt? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't remember the context exactly. It wasn't. I just don't. I don't remember the context exactly. But yeah, he was joining in with a throng of them. And yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. He put it out on Twitter, and that's when I blocked him.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, you can block me. I mean, I'm not mad about blocking me because you and I just didn't speak anymore. I mean, but
that wasn't why I didn't block you, because we didn't speak anymore, Alex. I blocked you because
I know.
you had joined the throng. Yeah, you joined in on a throng of haters. So like you don't have to do that. Like you can dislike me. You still don't have to join a throng of like former prostitutes who want to take Andrew Wilson down for the high crime of being a stepfather. Like that just seems insane to me.
I don't think it was so much like it. I think like the reason why like I watched the videos and stuff like that they were talking about. It's just like they feel like you're trying to push like this idea that that we are like you and Rachel are like these people that we are traditional. We believe in all these.
I mean, I do believe in traditionalism, but I've never touted myself as being some fucking epitome of the trad life. Nor do I even know exactly what people are referencing when they say that. I'm a Christian ethicist.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I've ever been, and a right-wing political debater.
Facts.
All of this. You've been around for years.
Yeah, right-wing political debater. Yeah. Absolutely. I know that part, definitely.
Yeah. And so even years ago, we would go just as hard on the OnlyFans skanks then, long before there was any of the whatever podcast or any of that. Going back to my first appearances on Politically Provoked, I was reading those chicks to the riot act. Now, they weren't all, like OnlyFans chicks, but there was plenty of skanks who would go through that show who we would tangle with, as you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it just doesn't seem like it's prudent. Like there doesn't need to be a reason for us to be hostile towards each other. Not me to you or you to me. There's just no reason for it. It just seems senseless to me.
I mean, Alex, if you started participating into what I think you were participating in, that's a reason for him to hate you right there. I'm sorry. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's the reason why that's the reason why that happened. But the thing is like, look, Alex, I'm willing to just forget it and forgive it. Like, who cares? We'll just move past it. What do you think?
Let's move past it. I'm okay with
Let's move past it. That sounds good to me. Let's just do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll just call it good. And don't hold any of the politically provoked panels and things like that against me. That was my job on that show. Was to be aggressive and be brutal. You know that.
Yeah, that was the very first thing I told Josie. Is like I did terrible in that first debate, honestly, and I will always own up to it because I feel like if I'm not honest with myself, how can I be honest with anybody else? Like I try to be as honest as I possibly can be. So
yeah, well, just have peace from it, dude. There's no reason for us to fight. It's just that that shit rubbed me the wrong way, and just don't be a backbiter, right? And I'll do the same.
Fair enough.
All right, man. All right. Well, have a good night.
You too.
Thanks for coming on, Andrew.
Later.
A whole nation convinced somehow that only the secularists should hold power based around some obscure interpretation of an amendment written by deists who never intended it to even mean what it's now interpreted as meaning. The right wing must stop fearing to exercise power based on religious values. The secularists have a lot of fun words for us: fascists, Nazis. What they really mean is he uses his religion to guide society instead of a non-grounded, unprincipled worldview based on abso-fucking-lutely nothing. Why shouldn't Christians be allowed to rule a nation where the most common self-identifier is Christian? Why shouldn't their morals be upheld as the standard for society instead of some nasty progressive buttbanger?